I think our ecosystem already proved its value and its abilities, because even now we are like number one in when it comes to licensed e-money institutions and payment institutions. When we look at our sector as a whole, we already serve like every 10th of the adult customer in European Union. From Lithuania, 25 million customers are receiving their financial services. So we are already in the map, and we have this favorable ecosystem. So we have regulation that kind of understands the financial sector, that is accepting innovation. We have a relevant infrastructure. We have understanding regulator. We have talent pool, and we also put money, public investments and attention to developing innovation in different fields.
Vaida, thank you so much for taking time to come speak to us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure meeting you. For those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, can you tell us briefly who you are and what you do?
So I'm Vaida Markevičienė. I'm Vicemnister of Finance, and in my portfolio I have investment policy and the development of financial markets. And of course, natural part of development of financial markets is fintech and green finance, and these topics are also dear to my heart.
Okay, amazing. So let's start by talking a little bit about why has fintech become such an important part of the economy and the focal areas of development in Lithuania?
Actually, it all started with a need. So in our society, we had a very concentrated banking sector, and we thought that we need to kind of steer this competition. And the idea is to do it with new finance, with fintech. That's why the idea to develop this fintech ecosystem appeared. But now, of course, after several years, when we already have many fintech companies here in Lithuania, and we are actually number one fintech hub in all Europe, now it's much more than that. Now it's an ecosystem by itself, and it allows Lithuania to produce not only like license services, but also IT services, and export them to Europe and global.
Right. Okay. And I know that Lithuania recently released an update to its existing fintech strategy.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what are the pillars of the strategy and what has changed in this new version?
Yeah. So just this year we launched a new strategy for the coming 5 years, and we want Lithuania to be a high-value added fintech hotspot. And initially, more focus was on attracting companies to Lithuania, and we had all like procedures very fast with newcomer program infrastructure for them to establish. And now we also look further, and we want companies not only have all this kind of easy way to start operating here in Lithuania, but also to enable them to grow, to expand, and to export. So the focus is now more on enabling them, creating favorable conditions, removing all the obstacles for their growth, ensuring that we have talent in place, ensuring that we have relevant infrastructure in place, ensuring that all the risks are managed, and of course that we spread the word about it globally. So just to kind of summarize it, we are focusing on more steps of the development of the companies, and also we are now including not only regulated fintech companies, but also those fintech companies that focus more on tech and provide tech solutions to the licensed entities. So now they both are reflected in the strategy.
All right, and that's really exciting, because you can see how the ecosystem has been maturing up to the point that I now also know that Lithuania is making a bid for having the anti-money laundering agency based in Vilnius. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. And this is, I would say, a very natural step in the strategy that we have, because we already managed to become one of the least risky jurisdictions globally. We rank in the top 10 of the jurisdictions jurisdictions that are least risky when it comes to money laundering risks. And we have established finance sector, we have a fintech sector, and they all have all the like specialists in those areas.
Yeah.
We also made a survey of fintech companies asking what sort of specialists they need, and what they said, of course, IT specialists, it's everywhere. And the other part was specialists working with AML issues, with compliance issues, because also of sanctions regime, we really have unprecedented sanctions regime currently. So what we did, we responded very quickly to that need. Within half a year, we launched a certification program that was the first in Baltics with university, private sector, and our AML Center of Excellence, which is a public-private partnership.
Yeah.
And now they certify specialists. And actually, even today, I'm going to congratulate the new generation of our compliance specialists. So we really invest in that area. I would say through all our ecosystem is keen to make this work. That's why we think we are the best home for AMLA.
Yeah.
And you are here, you probably see that Vilnius is a great location to be. So why not?
Totally. This is the 9th time we come to the Baltics this year. Just because we think that's what's happening in the Baltics. It's just extremely interesting, very exciting. We see how there's a buzz in the atmosphere, and that brings me to my next question again, because I'd like to get from your perspective, what do you think is unique about the ecosystem in Lithuania?
I would say now, a very unique is that we really have a very closely knit ecosystem. And then I was talking about the guidelines. The strategy of 5 years of fintech, it was not just the Ministry of Finance who did it, not just the institutions who did it, but we have all the ecosystem contributing to those guidelines. So we had a working group that had almost 80 experts from institutions and the sector. They came up with like 50 different actions that have to be taken in order for us to reach those goals.
Right.
And those actions have to be implemented by 25 different stakeholders. And part of them are from the ecosystem. So when we approved those guidelines, we had a memorandum of understanding signed. Half of the signatories were from institutions, but the other half were associations from the market. So it means that the products that we developed, it's not just kind of view from the top, but it's a product of all the ecosystem.
It's a co-developed approach that serves the needs of the fintechs.
Exactly. That's why I always think it's very hard to duplicate it, because in order to be able to work openly, in order to be able to kind of speak openly about the challenges, both from institutions and the sector, you already have to have trust in each other. That's why it doesn't happen over day, and our ecosystem reached that point. That's why now we managed to do it that way.
Well, it must be really, really gratifying to see that the policies that you put in place have yield results that allow you now to reach a different level of maturity and continue to that growth pathway that you've started.
Right. So we also hope that with the new guidelines, we will go even further, and we even have specific milestones that we want to reach. So we have KPIs in the strategy, so we can always check if it's exactly where we are going to, if those measures lead us to the direction we all agreed to.
Right. Amazing. Now, the Fintech Day is coming in February. What value do you think events like the Fintech Day bring to the overall ecosystem in Lithuania?
So I think it's very important to be kind of in sync. Like we have to, institutions have to know what is happening in the business field. Because, of course, financial sector is very regulated sector. I would say it's among the sectors that have the most regulation. So in order for us to be able to see, where the innovation is going and ensure that our regulation allows to innovate, but it also gives clarity and protects consumers, we really have to have deep understanding understanding on the developments in the market. It's the same for the market. In order for them to be able to kind of speak with institutions, they also have to know what are our priorities, what, for example, the risks we see in the sector, so they could address it. So I think these events, they help to bring all the sector together. And as I was saying, ecosystem doesn't happen in a day, and you have to invest your time and resources to maintain the strong ecosystem. So Fintech Day, I think, is the event that contributes to that.
Right, and we've seen the Fintech Day evolve from a local event into an event that is now attracting quite a lot of international attention, not just from the Baltics, but from the Nordics and beyond. Now, in your view, what is it why is it that companies or potential attendees should focus on what's happening in the Lithuanian ecosystem, and why should they come to the event?
I think our ecosystem already proved its value and its abilities, because even now we are like number one when it comes to licensed e-money institutions and payment institutions. Mm-hmm. When we look at our sector as a whole, we already serve like every 10th of the adult customer in European Union. From Lithuania, 25 million customers are receiving their financial services. So we are already in the map, and we have this favorable ecosystem. So we have regulation that kind of understands the financial sector, that is accepting innovation. We have a relevant infrastructure. We have understanding regulator. We have talent pool, and we also put money, public investments and attention to developing innovation in different fields. Mm-hmm. So I think for companies to come and see what we can offer is very beneficial. And what investors do like and prefer is to ask first-hand experience for the companies that are already operating in Lithuania. And those who use that opportunity, they are usually very positively surprised. Yeah. And it allows them to make more informed decision why Lithuania is a good location for their business expansion.
Okay, Vaida, let me just double check that I understood that correctly. You're saying that 1 in every 10 Europeans are being served by Lithuanian companies in the financial sector?
Yeah, because we have, from Lithuania, we are serving now more than 25 million customers. Lithuania has 3 million people.
Right, yeah.
Probably know, and we are serving 25 million customers.
That's remarkable. Wow, that's okay. I didn't know that. That's really, really remarkable. All right, and so as a Vice Minister of Finance, what's your view for the fintech industry in Lithuania?
So I could just echo what we all agreed and what we have in the guidelines. So our focus is on the growth of the companies. Mm-hmm. So for the companies to develop their products, to export to different markets, and for them to do that, they need to increase to have more staff working working in those companies, and of course then they need a talent pool. So one of our goal is to create favorable conditions for the companies to expand. Our second goal is to attract innovation and innovative companies to Lithuania. Mm-hmm. The ones that, for now, we have some sectors that we have way less companies, and we want to have this kind of full, complete ecosystem of different market players. So we want to attract those innovative companies to Lithuania to contribute to and benefit from our ecosystem. Our third goal is to ensure that we are the center of excellence, so we have talent pool to reflect the need of the company, so they could grow and develop their products. Our fourth goal is, of course, to remain not a risky jurisdiction, because in financial sector trust is very important. So we don't want to kind of anyhow compromise that trust. Yeah. And we say that we have to be a very stable, reliable jurisdiction also when it comes to different sort of risks like cyber risk and AML risk. And of course our fourth goal is to spread that word further from Lithuania.
Of course. Okay. Now, Vaida, let's get a little bit creative. Mm-hmm. If I were to ask you to come up with a slogan, a few words, like 10 words maximum, that describes to potential fintechs or talent what's happening in the Lithuanian ecosystem and why they should consider coming to Lithuania. What would that slogan say?
Scale your fintech with Lithuania. Actually, it's all thought through before because we have it in our guidelines. So what we want to happen, we want the fintechs to be able to scale with Lithuania.
All right, so that's very specific to say like if you want to take your fintech to the next stage, Lithuania is a place to be for them to make that happen. Okay, that's amazing. And Vaida, just one last question to close. What is it that you expect out of the FinTech Day on the 8th of February?
So, as always, I expect to have very hot conversations, very hot debates, because only through this open dialogue, which may not always be very convenient, we can achieve good results.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're very excited about the FinTech Day, and we're looking forward to those hot conversations and open debates.
See you there.
Thank you very much, Vaida.
Thanks.